Hi, folks. It's Friday, June 7th, and it's time for a little tea with JG. So, I just want to um, kind of talk about the market a little bit, talk about kind of things that are going on in my life. Uh, just get to know you a little bit better. So, first, let's talk about a little personal. So, I was in the military for about 8 years. And during that time, I was stationed in Korea. I was stationed in Germany, as well as a number of places here in the US. While I was stationed in Germany, I met some great Germans. I love the Germans. They are really, truly genuine people. If they say they want to be your friend, they really want to be your friend. If they say call them, they mean call them. And I became really good friends with a girl named Suzanne or Susan. And um, we had lost touch with each other for, I don't know, 10, 12 years. And recently, she saw one of my videos. It was actually yesterday's video. And she just commented, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "I'm good. Hey, how are you?" And then we had a call. The call lasted probably an hour and a half. It was like 1 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock her time. And we just talked, and it was awesome. She is she's gone through some major life changes. Her son is now 14 years old. He's a big kid, which is crazy because I remember when he was a little kid, like a baby. Um, he might come and spend next year with us for a semester abroad or a year abroad for him, which I would love. It would be awesome. Um, yeah, and that was really cool. It's such a rare thing, I think, to connect with old friends that you've just lost touch with, but when you speak to them again, it's like no time has passed, and all you want to do is give them a big hug. I think I'm going to be reaching out to a couple more people, so don't be surprised if I show up in your comments and I'm like, let's just chat. Uh, I was also talking today with um, a potential home buyer, and this is almost in line with the things that we were talking about yesterday around lending and credit. They were talking about how they were looking at renting a nice place, and the amount that they needed to put down, um, and the hoops they had to go to rent were crazy. So I wanted to get a better understanding of some of the pressures that they are going under. And I looked up um, rents in the US. And they're talking about in this article, more renters are becoming housing burdened. Uh, this survey found that more renters report paying 30% or more of their income on housing expenses. This is more commonly known as being cost burdened. And according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, they used data from the Census Bureau um, in the latest American Community Survey and found that 46% of renters are paying at least 30% of their income on housing expenses. That includes 23% that pays 50% of their income or more. That is insane. In Seattle, you've got rents that, $2,000, $3,000 for rent. If you're renting in Seattle or King County in general, and you're paying over $2,500 a month for rent, that's huge. Um, you're not only are you giving this money to somebody else, but you are not earning anything on your money. They talk about wealth and growing wealth in America, and the way that you do that is by owning property or owning land, and that's really true. And what a lot of renters, I think, don't get is that there are programs to help you get into a home, but when you're renting, you're just giving your money away. You're not you're not making anything on that. So how do you go about changing that dynamic? That's a great um, it's a problem that we have in the US. So how do you go about doing that? And the question becomes, what are you willing to sacrifice now for a better tomorrow? Are you willing to have a long commute into work? Are you willing to not have that best car, not drink that cup of coffee from Starbucks or your local coffee place? Um, are you okay with not going on that vacation this year? Are you okay living in a not great neighborhood today so that you can live in a great neighborhood tomorrow? Because if you are willing to do these things, then you need to talk to people who can help you. You need to do some research. Again, it's about having a team in place that will help you achieve the goals that you want. If you want to get out of that apartment, if you want to start making money or investing your money in something that you own, into a home, into an investment property, then it starts with one, doing a little bit of your own research, but two, talking to a mortgage broker, mortgage lender who's going to really help you. And if, like I said yesterday, if the first one doesn't tell you what you want to hear, keep looking, because the right programs are out there for you. Jonathan, what are the programs you're talking about? Hey, I'm a vet, so I did mine through the VA. VA was great. It really helped me to buy our first home here in Washington, and um, we sold that home and we moved into this gorgeous property out here in Maple Valley. We owned that home for just under 2 years and um, made 50% in profit on that home because the rates, the equity that we got in that home in Washington was great. And so, getting into that starter home in King County, you're in that starter home. I don't care what it's starting at. That's 250, cool. That's a half a million, cool. You're gonna make money on that home over the next 1, 2, 3 years. And so you take that, you sell that home, then you reinvest in your next place. Maybe you get a fixer upper, work on that thing in the weekends, remodel it yourself. A lot of people do that. But anyway, let's jump back into those rents because this article continues. The surging rents also put millions of renters at risk of experiencing homelessness. For example, cities like Riverside, California, Tampa Bay, Florida, and Memphis, Tennessee led the country with greater than 25% rent increases in 2021. So your landlord, their mortgage price didn't increase. The price of owning that property most likely didn't increase. But they knew that they could charge 25% more. And if you didn't sign that lease, somebody else would. This is Coco. This is one of the three dogs that happen to inhabit the same space as I do. I don't know if I can claim her. I think she more claims me. Um, she is a Bernedoodle. You can't see her. Coco, come here. Come here. Come on. Here she is. Can you see her? Here, let me show her to you. There she is. She's a good girl. Um, love her very much. And then there's our rescue dog, Mika, but Mika's a little camera shy, so I'm not gonna show you her. Um, oh my gosh, I'm just continuing to read this article, and I'll read the last two little paragraphs to you. To alleviate the struggles that renters face, more than 77% of homeowners and renters support adding accessory dwelling units (ADUs), duplexes, and triplexes to residential neighborhoods. We see that there is this housing crisis across the U.S. And in King County, they've actually done something really cool. Um, this year, a law went into effect that I think pretty much all properties and new constructions are no longer being zoned for single unit dwellings. They're all now able to be multi unit dwellings. And it depends on areas, it depends on certain criteria and certain locations that you're in. But that's one of the things that the county has recognized, and housing is really hard in especially Seattle. So they're looking to help people out. So what else is going on? Oh, 2 weeks, kids are out of school for summer. Yay! Camps are expensive, man. So it's a great question of what we're going to be doing with our kids for the summer. Stay tuned for some of that. That'll be fun and interesting. What else is going on in the world? Well, let's not talk about the world because the world is a crazy place, and I can get really political, and I don't want to do that right now. So that's it. Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna finish my tea. Continue to get ready for the day. Go ahead and make a bunch of phone calls and see if I can help some people get into a new home today. I hope you guys have. Hey, Ben, it was my pleasure. I got in the military because uh, I always wanted to know what the government knew and regular people didn't. So I went and I got a secret then TS clearance and learned a lot of stuff that regular folks don't know. Um, it was really good stuff. I really had a great time. If you've got a child who's kind of looking to figure out their way, the military is a great experience. Everybody doesn't go to combat. I spent my last 3 years as a literal performer, singing and dancing and traveling through Europe. So, um, I will always plug the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, even the Coast Guard. It really, if your kids don't have direction, it can help them get direction, but it's also a good place to learn a skill, make some money at the same time while you're figuring out what you're looking to do. Um, so hey, that's Friday Tea with JG, and hope to see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day. Ciao.